Wakey wakey, hands off snakey. Today we are not being lazy anymore. Today we are getting off our butt and actually doing something. We are gonna change the oil on this R1200GS. This guide will work for the 1250 as well. It's a pretty easy procedure, but there are a couple of tips and tricks that you might learn along the way, so keep on watching. Get your motorbike news in a pleasant way. Hit that subscribe button and turn on your notifications so you don't miss the next episode. Alright, so the tools you will need for this procedure are obviously your oil, 4 liters of it, preferably 5W40 as BMW recommends, an oil filter, a T55 and a T30 socket wrench, a tool for opening your filler cap, and a crush nut for your drain plug. The oil we decided to go with is this Motul 4T because it's red and they had it in stock. Alright, step number 1 is to not change your oil when it's cold. So first thing we need to do is either run the engine for about 5 minutes or go out and have a ride. Since it's cold as hell here, we're just gonna start it up and wait 5 minutes. After you've run your bike for about 5 minutes, switch it off and proceed to take off your bash plate. You'll need a T30 socket for this and there are 5 screws keeping it on. After taking the bash plate off, clean it and inspect it for any damage. This one has obviously done its job more than once, but it seems to be good shape so far. Next, properly position a drain tank under the bike. After that, it's time to open the filler cap so we don't splash oil everywhere after removing the drain pipe. Our first tip is to not be an idiot and open this cap with improvised tools. There is a special one made by BMW and you actually already own it. This special tool can be found under the pillion seat and it actually is the handle of the included BMW screwdriver. Inspect the O-ring but don't forget to put it back. Next, unscrew the drain plug and let the oil flow out. Well, that wasn't supposed to happen, but it did. And here is the aftermath. Maybe this collection tank is a little bit too small, but it definitely should have been put a lot more forward than it is right now. A lot more close to the front wheel. So live and learn, don't make my mistakes. Alright, time to clean this up. Next we move to the other side of the bike where the oil filter is located. Our next tip is to wrap the headers in some sort of a rack so the oil spilling from the filter will not run straight on them. Now there are a lot of oil filter wrenches around, but I only have this old rusty one that has been handed down in our family. Kind of an heirloom actually. Undo the oil filter and with a tissue clean the area where it's seated. The oil filter that I settled on is a MAL. Funny enough, that seems to be the OEM brand as well. Next, make them kiss. Then slowly, but firmly, run the gasket on the new filter with some oil so you don't get any dry spots. Then screw the filter back on. The torque value for this is 11 Newton meters, so you can tighten it by hand. 11 Newton meters is not a lot, so you don't have to overdo it. Next, use some degreaser to clean the surrounding area so it doesn't smoke when turning on the engine. Next, we move on to inspecting the drain plug. This is a magnetic drain plug, so any metal residue will stick to it. Don't be worried if you find metal fillings on it, it's normal. Or so I tell myself. Clean the drain plug and don't forget to replace the metal crush washer. Next, screw the drain plug back in. The torque value here is 42 Newton meters, so use a torque wrench. Next, we're gonna do the fun stuff. Get your 4 liters of oil ready for the pouring. Pour about 3.5 liters until the inspection window shows about full. We now need to recirculate some oil into the filter, so don't forget to put the filler cap back on and start the bike up for about half a minute. When you switch it off, the window will be a bit more than the halfway mark. Pour the rest of the oil in, put the filler cap back on and attach the bash plate. If you've taken the metal washers off when cleaning your bash plate and now you don't actually know if they go on the outside or the inside, well, aren't you glad you're here? The correct answer is on the outside. The metal washers go on the exterior. Alright, so apart from our little mishap with the oil, everything seems to have gone according to plan. The only thing that's left now is the very long cleanup process. And I'm not talking about putting the tools back, but that oil is going to take a while to clean. Remember to dispose of your oil safely. Any gas station should take it in for free. Don't go and throw it out in a river or somewhere. We don't all live in Romania. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, and if you think you've learned something, I can't possibly imagine what, then consider subscribing. We do previews, reviews, adventure rides, some how-to guides, most of them like this. So I'm gonna go and clean this mess up. You watch the video again so you don't mess up like me.